on Channel 3 News.
If it's a critical thing, you know, you've been taken hostage, you got somebody invading your house.
You need emergency help, but it's too dangerous to call. The county now launching Text 911 to get to you faster. The push to get rid of the Environmental Protection Agency. Why a Florida congressman says it's a waste of money.
I would say, if you can, Mitch, go nuclear.
And Washington gearing up for a fight over the president's Supreme Court nominee.
You're watching Northwest Florida's news station. This is WEAR, Channel 3 News at 10 in high definition.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. Residents in Santa Rosa County can now text 911 in an emergency. Officials say it can make all the difference if it's too dangerous to talk, but it still has its limitations. Dave Gonzalez joins us live in the studio to show us how it works. And David, this isn't the first county to roll out a similar feature.
Jacqueline, no, it isn't. Actually, Walton County was the first in Northwest Florida to do so back in June 2015. Okaloosa County started offering their feature back in May. Santa Rosa County officials say text to 911 offers a safe option for people in need of help.
Santa Rosa 911, do you need police, fire, or ambulance?
911 operators in Santa Rosa County are used to dealing with any sort of emergency. The county just launched text to 911, which will help continue that trend. They hope this new tool will assist those who may not be able to call for help.
If it's a critical thing, you know, you've been taken hostage, you got somebody invading your house and you're in the closet, text, because we don't want you talking.
The feature will also benefit the deaf and hard of hearing.
The old TTY system where they had a computer terminal that they had to type on, that's kind of gone by the wayside. This will allow those deaf and hard of hearing to communicate with our 911 center on their cellular device.
But it does have its flaws. Operators are dependent on the caller to give accurate information on their location.
If you text us, we can't pull your location from that text because it's a data burst, and then we don't have any connection back to you.
The delay in typing and a dispatcher typing a response back can eat up precious time. Also, dispatchers can't hear the caller's tone through the text.
The noise in the background, we might be able to pick up something from our trained operators that might prod them to ask another question about what's going on.
Walton County officials say text to 911 has been very successful. At the end of last year, a woman didn't feel comfortable calling 911 about her suicidal husband. She texted instead, and deputies there were able to help defuse the situation. Jacqueline?
David, thank you. Well, Escambia County doesn't offer 911 texting yet, but officials say they plan to add the feature sometime this year. We have a new tool on our website called Alert ID. It allows you to track crime in your neighborhood. Just head to the crime map, enter your address, and see what crimes have been reported near you. You can narrow the search down to any community. Alert ID is free. Tonight, Santa Rosa County deputies are searching for a man in connection to a double murder in Milton. Deputies say William Boyette Jr. is a person of interest in the deadly shooting at the Emerald Sands Inn. He's considered armed and dangerous. 2 people were found dead inside a motel room on Highway 90 yesterday morning. Investigators still have not released the names of the victims or a motive. A $3,000 reward is now being offered for any information that leads to Boyette's arrest. Tomorrow, the Unified Command Team will hold a town hall meeting for people affected by the International Paper Mill explosion. The meeting starts at 6 in the cafeteria of Tate High School. There will be an incident response review followed by a question and answer session. Tonight, the Senate approved former ExxonMobil CEO Rex Tillerson as Secretary of State. He cleared with a vote of 56 to 43. Tillerson had a shaky confirmation hearing last month. Many questioned Tillerson's approach to Russia and state sponsors of terror such as Iran. Meanwhile, Senate Republicans are going to new lengths to get some of the president's controversial cabinet nominees confirmed. They're changing committee rules to move forward with 2 crucial nominees, Health and Human Services Secretary Tom Price and Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin. It circumvents a 2-day boycott by Democrats frustrated by what they call lies from those nominees. Meanwhile, another group of Democrats launched a second boycott to slow the confirmation of EPA nominee Scott Pruitt. That committee vote is scheduled for tomorrow. A Northwest Florida congressman wants to completely abolish the Environmental Protection Agency. It's a bold move for a freshman congressman. This will be the first piece of legislation Representative Matt Gaetz will draft since joining Congress last month. Channel 3's Allie Norton joins us live in the studio, and Allie, Gaetz has already asked other members of Congress to co-sponsor this bill.
Right, Jacqueline, and we don't know who he has asked since it's so early in the process, but according to the Huffington Post, they have until Friday to respond. If all goes according to plan, the EPA wouldn't exist come next year. Gaetz tells us that he doesn't want to get rid of the functions that protect the environment. He says he believes in conservation, but the federal government isn't doing a good job at it. He says the EPA was established when states didn't have the resources to determine what needs protection. Gaetz says states have come a long way since then, so it should be the state's responsibility to regulate.
So I would take the resources that we use to fund the bureaucracy at the EPA, and I would downstream those resources to states and local communities so that we're able to have people closest to environmental assets ascertain the importance of those assets and then protect them appropriately and responsibly.
Gaetz took some heat on social media because of the proposed legislation. One person called the move shameful, saying abolishing the EPA would be detrimental for the environment, the country, and the people living here. In the studio, Allie Norton, Channel 3 News.
Allie, thank you. Well, tonight, Escambia County deputies are still searching for this man wanted in a bank robbery yesterday. Officers say he robbed a Gulf Winds Federal Credit Union on Creighton Road. Deputies say he walked in and demanded money from the teller. If you recognize him, you're asked to call Crime Stoppers at 433-STOP. Meanwhile, a Chickasaw man turned himself into police this morning for a bank robbery in Daphne. DeCorian Harris admitted robbing the region's bank on Highway 98 last Friday.
Well, checking in our weather forecast, we've got temperatures that will be not too cold overnight, but generally speaking, down in the 50s. Right now, we're pretty close to 60 degrees. And then tomorrow, another nice day where those temperatures are going to be warming back up in the mid to low 70s with some sunshine tomorrow. So some good looking weather. We're going to run the Futurecast coming up here in just a little bit to find out about wet weather, because it looks like over the next few days, we may see a little bit with a weak front. I'll have more time to tell you about that. But first, as we do take a look at the overnight lows and kind of break it down for you, you can see it's 50s. Even the inland areas should stay out of the 40s or around 50 or above. So there's a look ahead to tomorrow morning. I'd also look out for some foggy weather. That's going to be possible during the late night and morning hours.
Coming up, the president tells Senate Republicans to go nuclear. The fight brewing right now over his Supreme Court nominee. And an intense standoff happening now at a Delaware prison. The moves to get everyone released safely.
WEAR On The Go is sponsored by Pensacola Honda. First Morning Weather, sponsored by Pensacola State College.